Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do de. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
I've seen people who attack me with the slogan they use. They literally abused me. One day, one journalist, Ibrahim Ajara is my witness. I was sitting at Swiss Tavern where I chill. He came, they saw Jara come. Going to Sabali, want to see him. They all came. Oh, Sabali, I'm sorry, we said this and this, but you are a good guy. Jara told me the youths have surrendered. Even those who used to say the youths are not happy, they have surrendered. The youths are happy.
If they were all happy, they wouldn't descend on the streets protesting and,
Peter,
being rowdy as they were.
Peter,
yeah?
If I say...
Or are you going back to the manipulative, argument of ML in Kenya?
So you're saying ML is manipulative and he's using a manipulative
element?
No, that's what you just said.
I mean his terminology. I mean his use of politicians, every politicians, and that includes Sabali.
Peter, I saw a professor sort of yesterday who lives and works in America trying to argue with me about the youths are happy. He doesn't have the moral and the legal.
What did he say?
He doesn't have the standing because he doesn't even know what the youths are dealing with here. Peter, I am the youths and the youths army. They are happy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Somebody's sending, audios here, which, we wouldn't be, playing straight away. Let's see what this one says. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Kindly remind Sabali that this parliament has passed so many resolutions that this government never respected. Can he guarantee that any resolution coming from this parliamentary committee will be endorsed by the plenary that is so politely and actioned by the executive?
Okay, Peter, I would be glad if you take a pause because you cannot just be responding to these questions. And there are certain legitimate questions that are coming up that need to be thoroughly dealt with.
Okay, I'll put
and I am not even sure if I am the competent authority to deal with these issues. But if we are having parliamentary inquiries and they are claiming they are not being implemented, then maybe we need to interrogate the National Assembly, or the National Assembly itself needs to do some soul searching to see, because we are spending resources for this. Those resources should not go in vain. National Assembly members, if you are listening, you've given us hope in this matter. And like I said, I commend Honorable Bure Tunkara and the majority caucus of NPP. Just like Peter, I commended UDP for coming on board after. But for God's sake, me, Momodu Sabali, when it comes to the truth, I don't have any friends. I don't have a political party. Legitimate concerns are being reached as you approach this very critical extraordinary session. People are asking about the efficacy of these inquiries and the need for concrete action to be taken once the inquiries have been concluded. I just wanted to amplify that concern. I'm not here to defend anybody. This is a legitimate concern. Let's look at it. See how we go beyond rhetoric to praxis.
Brother Peter, let us not joke with the peace of our country. Many of the demonstrators came out with political, which should be avoided. And this is from Aliu Badara. I guess came out with political
Peter,
intentions.
in the history of Islam, Aliu is a very strong name. Aliu Badara, the disciple of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So anybody called Aliu Badara?
Warrior. That Badara is named after a battlefield. So if Aliu the warrior is asking for peace, Peter, I'm appealing to all of the young people to listen to Aliu Badara Borom Jasibi. When you take Jasi. Peter, I wanna have a minute on this before you move. During the transition 2017-18, I attended several forums where Halifa Saleh is, and there's this statement that he said that I never forgot, that the young people of this country must never, ever take the peace and stability of this country for granted. And yes, we knew there are some youths who came out with no political motivation, to be fair to them. They just wanted the list out, but we saw others who came, including politicians, who were trying to incite these youths. That is not right. If this country goes on fire, nobody knows whose house will go first. When the house is being burnt, the bed box will not be spared. I just want to add to Halifa Saleh's quotation, which I picked from Hasum Sise, NCAC. I hope he doesn't mind being quoted. It's a good thing anyway. We were speaking about the need for compassion in this country and how some people try to disregard the concept of maslaha when maslaha actually must have saved this country as a republic. Then he quoted Sadauda Kairaba Jawara, who he said visited Armitage in 1992. And he said, Jawara said this, and he's a man of letters. He said, the fragility of the Gambia is unique. The fragility of this country is unique. So we need to be careful.
Unpack that for us. Fragility of the Gambia is unique.
Yeah. But if you look at the Gambia,
as fragile.
Nation, no, hold on.
Yeah.
A country whose viability as a nation state was questioned by the world at the get-go, as exemplified by Barclay Rice's Enter Gambia, Birth of an Improbable Nation. We are surrounded by a country that has not always been extraordinarily friendly. We've had a coup d'etat in 1981. Destruction of property, destruction of life, wanton destruction of property and lives. That coup d'etat, according to some of these Moja people, I think there was a Koro Sala or something Sala in Sweden who did a very fantastic expose to unearth the build up to the 1981 coup and how that actually led to the 1994 coup. Because Yahya Jammeh was a Moja agent and a Moja sympathizer. So we came to that. That coup happened. After that coup, what happened, we all saw. Everybody was thinking of how to get Jammeh out of power here. I think the only people who actually believed that we could do it in peace through the ballot box was PDOIS. When it happened, we went through an impasse. The whole world was focused on Gambia for once, from Sweden to Kenya to Washington, D.C. Peter, if CNN could alternate between Donald Trump swearing in and Adama Barrow swearing in, then you know there's something extraordinary happening in this country.
They were doing that?
Yes. At the same time, Barrow came to power at the same time as Trump did. That showed how Gambia was a case for the whole world.
Yeah, but they were sworn on different days, so they couldn't be switching from one to another.
Peter, there was a process building.
Adama Barrow, 19th January, Trump, 20th of January.
Peter, the swearing in itself of Barrow.
And Barrow was being sworn in Senegal. Anyway.
What I'm saying is the whole world was focused on that process whilst the Trump swearing in was also on. The American swearing in doesn't happen 1 hour and get finished in 1 hour. What I'm trying to tell you, Peter, is...
I'm saying ours would have, Adama Barrow was finished a good 24 hours before.
What I'm saying is, after even 1 year, the whole world was focused on Gambia. It was a monumental timeline in the history of the world, not just Gambia. Bombs could have descended on this country. Gambians actually fled. God saved us.
Yeah, but
so we've had a history of fragility.
Those bombs would have descended before the swearing in, not during the swearing in.
The swearing in fact, doesn't matter now. What happens is we went through a difficult transition that built up from 1981. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Peter. Just to buttress and unpack for you, like you requested, what Sadauda Kairaba Jawara said, that this country is fragile. We need to be careful. We cannot take the peace and stability of this country for granted.
Let's take Usman Drame, his thoughts from Brikama on board. If we read volume 3 of the Janneh Commission's report, you will note that most of the properties acquired by the Kanilai Family Farm, KFF Limited, where Jammeh owes 99% of the shares, was acquired legitimately and mostly from private individuals. The Commission, however, found that he abused his office and mismanaged public funds and recommended that those assets be forfeited to the state. Yes, Jammeh owes properties legitimately, now forfeited, says Usman Drame from Brikama.
It's quite interesting. What I find interesting about his comment, like I said, I'm not here to defend Jammeh. I'm not here to defend anybody. My position is for the truth to be established, and I still stand by that. And when I was calling for this, Peter, 5 years ago, some of the people protesting, they were insulting me for questioning Batambedu's integrity and the integrity of the Janneh Commission members and the lead counsel. I mean, deja vu. So what I want to pick from this guy, this is somebody who actually read the Janneh Commission report. How many people have read it? This parliamentary inquiry that we are pushing for, how many people will read it? Let us read and analyze and argue with facts and put our emotions apart.
Good morning, Uncle Peter and Sabs. Youths, in other words, youths are happy.
Very happy.
Honestly, I commend Sabali.
Youths are happy. Yeah? Be fair, just read it. When the others say they are not happy, you read it. Why are you pausing? Why?
I said in brackets, youths are happy.
No, you paused. Youths, then you paused.
Okay.
Be fair, Peter. You should be a referee in this.
Okay. Honestly,
yes.
Honestly, I commend Sabali for his political maturity. Say what not, he's a good politician. Question. Can Sabali tell Gambians, should Barrow call and ask for advice on the current sale of assets? What would he honestly advise him? If Barrow were to call you today.
Well, there's a problem with the question. Current sale of assets. There are no assets being sold right now. Maybe you want to reinterpret that question.
Well, I'm just reading it as it is. You can satisfy yourself.
No, I've heard you, but there's a problem because he's assuming that assets are being sold. I don't think I have any advice for President
Barrow. Maybe. I mean, he probably means the current issue of the sale of assets.
I have nothing to advise the president.
Nothing?
The government of the Republic of the Gambia is taking the right steps. I'm just watching, and I want that process to go on, uninterrupted, free and fair, list being received, list being released, parliamentary inquiry commencing. The only thing I'll add to that, Peter, is the interrogation of some of the texts coming in. What will happen after the inquiry? And that falls within the hands of the assembly members. Let them make sure that it doesn't just become a dance to the gallery. Let's take some steps to correct the errata. 1, 2, make sure there is not a recurrence of this really serious error.
With all due respect, I find it puzzling that you mentioned that you are not a legal advisor to the president. If one holds the position of an advisor, yet does not advise the president, especially on matters of national concern, then it raises a serious question. What is the real purpose of that role? The people expect that anyone in such a position contributes meaningfully to national decisions and the direction of leadership. If your role does not influence or inform the president's actions, then where exactly does its value lie, especially in the eyes of the public? I ask this with genuine concern and a deep interest in understanding how such roles serve the people and the nation.
Peter, tell him I actually appreciate his concern. I think he did not listen to me properly. If I said I'm not a legal advisor to the president, I think it's a bit ambiguous. I'm not saying that legally I cannot advise the president. I am saying that I am not competent to advise the president on legal matters. Peter Baxo calls me the boy of smartness. Anything that I don't have knowledge on, I don't interfere. I cannot advise the president on legal matters, and I will not. But the other matters that I am competent to advise, I've been doing, I will continue to do. That's the answer.
Excellent jam, Suwaid.
Yo, Abla, yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Busel mu fine.
What?
Busel mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Busel mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
I must confess, Sabs is an asset every political party yearns for. Hate him or love him.
Hallelujah.
You know, on what side of the coin do you fall, do you think? That you have more haters or more admirers, lovers, if you like?
Peter, actually, I'm not bothered. If I were bothered about that, I would not have reached here today. I'm actually not bothered. I mean, Peter, all I'm interested is in the truth, in justice, in fair play, in peace, and in development of this country. Peter, I know that I will not be right on all the things I say and all the things I do, but so long as my conscience is clear, I'm good to go. I am unbothered by the applause, just like I am bothered by the insults. Right now, if you go to my Facebook page, there are 1,000 insults. I don't care. I'm drinking my attire. Like a suma ndewoma chop ice cream. Them don't want to see beach way. The youths are happy.
You know, once you are on, expect any question.
Yeah, it's okay.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Can you please ask Modu Sabali if there is any possibility of recovering these Jame assets? And what is Barrow's standpoint to recover these assets? Because we should not let it go so cheaply, says Abdullah Ba. Maybe a youth that you should make happy. Peter. Or maybe he's a happy youth already.
Peter.
Yes.
These are very serious questions that we must not just simply brush over. We cannot
Is that possible, recovering those assets
Peter,
that have been disposed of already?
Peter, I want you to listen to me.
I will.
Maybe I don't even have an answer.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say, we need to be serious as a nation. We cannot be just here howling, making noise, causing disturbances. At the end of the day, there is no concrete result out of what's happening. This young man here is asking a legitimate question. Do I have the answer? Maybe no. Because looking at the list, at the prices at which some of these assets were sold for, and if you factor in depreciation over time, abuse, misuse of those assets, what's left of it? Tell the young man, Peter, I appreciate his question. I thank him for his concern about the wealth that belongs to the nation, that could have gone to pay for the medical care and compensation of victims, but that mostly went into private pockets. Those who are listening, those in authority, those going into the inquiry, the media, we all need to answer this question. Perhaps in rhetoric fashion, but the price that was paid in this process must not go in vain. We must learn and take some kind of, I'm not saying vindictive, but corrective action that can restitute some level of justice on our country, whose prayer is let justice guide our actions towards the common good.
One thing this government, has been criticized for, even including you when you were still in opposition, was, the money spent to buy cars for the OIC summit. Now, it's been suggested that a lot of cars have yet to be accounted for, cars that were purchased in anticipation of the Gambia's hosting of the OIC summit, originally scheduled for 2019. If those cars had been kept...
Which cars?
From Jame's assets.
Peter, again, I think we need to be serious as a nation.
You don't believe that...
No, I'm not even going to get into that. I think we just need to... I think that young man's question is really...
Abdullah Ba.
It's sobering.
Abdullah Ba.
It's sobering.
Yeah.
James assess what happened to them, we know. Let them ask the Jane Commission and Batambi.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying.
So, I mean...
So if people are criticizing...
It's spilt milk.
If people are criticizing 800 million...
Let them go and criticize Batambedu and the Jane Commission who put us into this mess.
I'm saying if those cars were kept...
Let them ask
purpose.
the UDP people. They were there. Now, apparently some of the tractors were sold to municipalities run by their mayors and chairmen.
Those municipalities have come out to say that they didn't acquire a single tractor.
Well, it's their award against that of the commission. So let all the UDP mayors go to the parliamentary inquiry and make it clear.
That's what we need the parliamentary committee to be effective.
You shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free, Peter. Bible never lied.
All right. I'll make this the final question from Alex Badunyang, because it's already 3 minutes past 10 o'clock. I said he wasn't going to be kept here beyond 10. He's got the president to advise.
Peter, I got work to do. Just say it that way. The president is busy. The president is too busy. He might not even see me today.
Greetings, Uncle Peter and Mr. Sabs. I want to ask Sabs, does he still believe the youths are happy with the current situation the country is facing? Insecurity, suicides, too much drugs on the loose, etc., etc. I want you to address this issue of drugs. Earlier on, you spoke about Swiss Tavern, and I don't know where the Swiss Tavern is. If it's the Kololi Tavern...
No, it's not Kololi Tavern.
Don't they say that is the center?
No, Peter, I wouldn't go to Kololi
Okay.
Tavern.
Yeah.
Swiss Tavern is behind the Monkey Park. It
Okay.
used to be called Voodoo. Peter, we got challenges in security, unemployment. Back way, Peter, we still were supposed to have a series on that.
Advise Martin for me, not never to take the back way.
You will go try a very easy with that. Why, democracy has its advantages, it has its downsides. To combat crime here, Jammeh took certain measures that were seen to be draconian. When the new government came with President Barrow and the coalition, they pulled all the soldiers back to the barracks. I remember sitting at GRTS on Gis saying that action was wrong. You cannot pull the soldiers completely out of the barrack. We know mistakes.
They don't belong there. Out of the streets, you mean, or out of the barracks? No, out of the streets.
They took them out of this into the barracks.
Yeah, that's where they belong.
Now listen to me.
Okay,
You took that decision. Let me tell you how you are paying the price.
I'm listening.
There used to be joint patrol troops where you had the army, the police, immigration, SIS, prison, patrolling.
Yeah.
So the soldiers had a use. So it had downsides. We wanted to do away the downsides. We pushed back law enforcement a little bit to the point I remember my brother Maifati once even suggested changing the Gambia police force into Gambia police service. Fine, it's fine, but it has consequences. So trying to restore this security thing is a balancing act, and we are still going through the security service reform. I've seen people who came to President Barrow about issues that are dragging in the courts, and they feel that the courts are wasting their time, and they want the president to intervene. To my pleasure and pride, President Barrow told them, I've heard you. We know these frustrations, but we must respect the independence of the judiciary. I served under a president who has intervened in judicial matters. Do we want to go back to that? It's a complex process. Let us think together, speak together, brainstorm, consult on how to solve these problems. It's complex. We need to do something. We are doing some things. Maybe we should work harder on this. Maybe the government should move faster on this. But let them not assume that the government does not care. Let them not assume that the government is complacent. It's a difficult thing to take care of. But it shall be well, inshallah.
That's security. What about youth and drugs?
Peter, I've said it before. Nobody knows the youth issue better than me. Young people of this country, population growth, of course. We have unemployment issues just like other countries have. We have issues of the disintegration of the family setup, where some people, Peter, here I have to talk about us. We are giving an unfair burden to our wives, taking care of the food, the shelter, the clothing. I think a man, father, should take care of the upbringing and discipline of the son and the mother, the girl. How many of us are spending a whole weekend watching Premier League, La Liga, not knowing what's happening with our sons?
I can afford that because I don't have a son.
It's okay, Peter. You don't have a biological son.
I have only girls.
You have many spiritual and football sons.
No, actually, adopted sons.
So you see,
they're all there, yes.
So there are social issues to this. Again, the police, they're very careful since this new government in even dealing. I've had police complain to me that now civilians, they attack us. It's still a transition.
We see that on television all the time. Yeah, it's okay. It's the right thing.
So
those repressive years, use of the army on civilians.
Peter,
No,
so
we don't want ever to go back to that again.
No, Peter, hold on.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But Peter, even in America, the mecca of democracy, if you break the law, the police have the right to arrest you.
The
But
police.
now, Peter, listen.
I agree.
We've seen people. No, listen to me, Peter.
No, I am agree. I'm supporting everything you're saying. I'm agreeing with you. I'm
We've
not disagreeing.
seen police go to arrest people, and the police were attacked and beaten.
That is wrong.
So we need to talk to each other, not to abuse this democratic space.
I agree.
Peter, I talk to the police all the time. I intervene in cases regarding young people. And to be honest, the police, they listen to me. But when we speak to the young people also, like this crisis when it happens, some people called me. They were, Mr. Savali, we count on you. Talk to government. I said, yes, I've heard you.
What did they want you to tell government?
No, they wanted the release of the
Oh,
detainees.
okay.
I said, I've heard you. But the law is the law. It must be protected. In as much as I've heard you, can you go and talk to your side also to calm down and respect the law? It's a two-way street, Peter. It cannot be one way. It takes two to tango. They don't know tango. You tell them. Now they do rap and pasa music. Well, tell them what's tango, Peter.
These days, I don't know what these
well,
young
tell them it takes three to salsa.
I don't know what these young people. Just finally, what is your message? Because increasingly you hear that Barrow's popularity has plummeted, and there's no way he can win in 2026 unless he rigs the vote.
This is ridiculous to me.
I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure you've read it somewhere.
Peter.
So the question is, how
Peter,
do you people respond,
Peter,
those of you who
Peter,
are around the president,
Peter,
making him believe that he will win in 2026?
Peter, listen to me.
I'm listening.
If President Barrow says that Liverpool is a bad team, doesn't have good footballers, would you believe him?
Well, on the basis of his team's performance against Liverpool yesterday, yes, he can make that argument.
He can make that argument that Liverpool had, no, I mean a broad statement, not just yesterday. A broad statement, because that's what you are telling me.
We wouldn't have gone away with the title.
So fine, President Barrow, as an Arsenal supporter, you would not take his remarks about Liverpool's competence seriously. So it's UDP who are saying this. They are frustrated, discouraged. We are taking their supporters in thousands.
It's not just UDP.
The others are not relevant. It's a two-horse race, and we are winning, and the president is happy.
Seriously?
NPP for life.
Two-horse race?
I'm telling you.
So the others are just wasting
time. The youths are happy.
Sabs, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me. And this time I had coffee, I must acknowledge. God bless you.
He always has coffee. You know, he came here in the middle of Ramadan. Nobody serves coffee in Ramadan. And coincidentally, this year also it coincided with Lent. So my guests were having nothing. I wasn't having anything. Right? But you see now, besides me, always is.
You will never walk alone.
Exactly. Sabs, have a very good day.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming to the show. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, courtesy of Jar Oil and Wave on YouTube.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axila jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh. Yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. Ak Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.